Boom goes the dynamite. Flying debris and large-scale destruction are always unforgettable attention grabbers. There's really nothing as satisfying as watching a character use some kind of power or weapon to create explosions that change the story or course of events in some way. Anime fans are lucky because there's a large selection of superb moments where our favorite heroes and villains employ explosions that leave a lasting impression on us. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the most awesome explosions that anime shows have given us. And if you want this channel to explode in popularity, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this bombastic video everywhere. Here we go. Number 22. Nagisa's Suicide Attack, Assassination Classroom. An action-packed anime that includes suicide as one of its themes. Assassination Classroom gives us Nagisa Shiota, a naturally talented student who specializes in carrying out assassinations. Nagisa's greatest moment is when he attempts a suicide bomb attack meant for Koro-sensei. In the very first episode of the show, he literally jumps on the guy and has Terasaka pressing the trigger button. The fireworks are awesome, but Koro's reaction? Not so much. Number 21. Ryoko vs. Ira, Kill la Kill.
自分への攻撃パワーを溜め込んで相手に返すことは分かってるんだ。
Kill la Kill includes dozens of great fights, but we picked the one with the most flying debris in it. Ryoko vs. Ira is the battle we picked. Ira Gamagori refuses to lose to a girl, and we see him undergoing his second transformation, Shackle Regalia, in an attempt to finish and dominate the match quickly. This form unleashes a powerful area of effect explosion that destroys much of the battlefield, and gives Gamagori a spiked armor to protect himself. Number 20. Suicidal Tanya, Saga of Tanya the Evil. Tanya Degorchov is the female reincarnation of a former salaryman. Her body is that of a 9-year-old soldier, and she takes pride in killing her enemies. When forced into a dire situation where the risk of losing the battle outweighs that of winning, Tanya uses suicide in the very first episode to destroy the army of soldiers chasing her. Tanya explodes herself by grabbing on one of the enemies and kills everyone in near vicinity. It's a great starter to what she's capable of. Number 19. Toro playing with Kana, Kobayashi-san Shino Maid Dragon. Female dragons who possess magical abilities and like to spend their free time sparring with each other can be a hazard to the public. For Toru and Kana, their sparring includes launching destructive balls of fire from their mouths that cause earthquakes and debris to fly everywhere. One of the biggest explosions that these two cause happens in an unassuming day, where they're just simply having fun. We certainly understand right then and there that those dragons don't play nice. Number 18. Meteor Explosion, One Punch Man. Being strong enough to kill any being in existence with just one punch is pretty hard to beat. Saitama does that and more. In one of his most impressive displays of strength, Saitama saves planet Earth from an incoming meteor by going headfirst into it and punching it into a million pieces. The explosion is so big that fragments fly all over the city, raining down fire and fury in a fantastic portrayal of true heroic effort. Number 17. Island Attack Scene, Oshio Totora. This supernatural shonen battle anime introduces us to the villain Hakumen, a fox-like entity that thrives on destruction and hatred. Through the negative emotions of Tora, Hakumen gains immense power to wipe out an entire civilization. Hakumen's energy attack is powerful enough to take out whole islands and territories, with a massive white explosion following. This happens in several instances, where the brutality of the creature surfaces. Number 16. Magical Splash Flare, Recreator. Recreator gives us girls who are adept at using magic. Like many anime shows on this list, there's a lot of explosions happening. The most memorable is when Mamika Kiramiki activates her special power, Magical Splash Flare, a rosy barrage of magical spheres of energy that destroys the entire stadium, where Altair was going to kill her. Number 15. Catastrophic Collision, Nishijo. Imagine a robot that was created by a human that explodes if it trips over. That describes Nano Shinonomi, an android with several unique abilities, one of which is to cause massive explosions. So we see firsthand how destructive Nano's explosion is if it weren't for the safety mechanisms installed into her. It causes a massive shockwave of white energy that destroys a lot of infrastructure, and thankfully only hurts Nano herself. Individuals caught in the blast are safe from harm. Number 14. Colossal Titan Transformation, Attack on Titans. Attack on Titan's 9 shape-shifting titans can all do some serious damage if they transform somewhere dense in population or infrastructure. However, the Colossal Titan inheritors take the cake as the most destructive. In Season 3, Bertolt's transformation in mid-air leads to the destruction of Wall Maria in a spectacular if grim fashion, striking fear into the hearts of Eren and his friends, and foiling their plan to retake Wall Maria for an extended amount of time. As the story progresses, Armin inherits the Colossal Titan, and again, we see the nuclear-like explosion wreaking absolute havoc on the forces of Marley, to the point where Armin himself is dumbfounded by what his Titan has done. Number 13. Megumin's final explosion, Konosuba. The elite and impulsive Konosuba archmagician Megumin is the closest thing to a loose cannon. Megumin takes no prisoners when it comes to unleashing her explosive spells left and right, leaving a trail of destruction in her wake. During the Season 2 finale, we see Megumin's most powerful casting spell, Final Explosion, being put to use to annihilate a very dangerous creature. The explosion itself looks similar to a big red volcano erupting, with flames that can burn through anything. Number 12. Poor Man's Rose Explosion, Hunter x Hunter. When all hope seems lost in the battle against the Chimera Ant King, Miriam, Nero pulls out one last trick up his sleeve. Nero finishes his battle with a wholesome smile on his face, telling Miriam that he has underestimated humans' capability to overcome hardships. At that moment, Nero reveals that he had what is called a poor man's rose nuclear bomb implanted into his heart, in case Miriam got the best of him. To end the battle, Nero activates the bomb by stabbing his heart, unleashing a deadly nuclear explosion that takes out the Ant King, and it's a glorious sight to behold. Number 11. Nuclear Explosion, Old Noah 0. Humans are a greedy bunch. In an attempt to extend the influence of the human race to new places, humanity conquers Mars finally. The resultant technological advances see humans split into two factions, one of them wanting to conquer Earth at any cost. The show introduces us to landing castles, huge structure that when deployed to land on a location, cause a nuclear explosion of unremitting carnage, such as whenever ruthless measures have to be taken. These things are used by Martian commanders to flaunt their superior destructive capabilities. Number 10. Sephiroth vs. Karna, Fate Apocrypha.
黒のセイバーをその身に宿す戦士
The fierce battle between Saber of Black, Sephiroth, and Karna, Lancer of Red from the anime Fate, is just one explosion after the other. In this epic duel of blood and sorcery, literally every sword slash, lance pierce, magic spell, and even small movement causes some kind of explosion. It's hard for us to pinpoint the biggest explosion in the fight, but it's probably when Karna unleashes his noble phantasm and Sephiroth has to hold steady with his equally powerful blue mana burst. It's definitely the highlight of the battle. Number 9. Ten-Tail Beast Bomb, Naruto Shippuden. Naruto Shippuden never disappoints when it comes to presenting visually stunning ultimate attacks. The Ten-Tail Beast Bomb in particular is a strong contender for the biggest kaboom attack in the show. The stick technique can be fired as either a wave, beam, or a bomb. In Obito Uchiha's case, he can fire multiple explosive bombs from the tree he conjures. Hell, the tree itself has a very morbid look to it, kinda looking like some monster of some kind. Number 8. Transcending Aizen Zero, Bleach. Commanding an army of frighteningly strong soldiers while aspiring to be a god is a lot of work. In the case of Aizen, it's easy to see why he gets both. As the commander of the Iron Car, Aizen goes through his transcendent form to become the most powerful of all characters in Bleach. We get a display of how powerful Aizen Zero, or Hollow Flash, is during the course of the fake Karakura town arc. Aizen's attack levels a huge chunk of the town without breaking a sweat. Number 7. Vegeta Final Explosion, Dragon Ball Z. Say what you will about Vegeta's drive to gain power at any cost, we still enjoyed his turn to the dark side when he became Majin Vegeta. As the Z-Fighters find themselves incapable of stopping Majin Buu, Vegeta finally sees the error of his ways and goes back to help his former friends. While in his Majin form, the Prince of All Saiyans puts up a respectable fight against the pink monstrosity. However, he's unable to take down Buu completely. That is until Vegeta understands that his Majin energy can be channeled to transform his body into a ticking time bomb. A bomb strong enough to annihilate Buu at the expense of his life. What follows is Vegeta saying his farewell to everyone before launching his final explosion suicide technique. It's a sight for sore eyes when it happens, and Buu, while not dead, does end up splitting in half, making it easier to deal with his weakened form later. Number 6. The destruction of Neo Tokyo, Akira. The movie Akira gives us a good overview of the events that transpired when Neo Tokyo was wiped off the face of the earth. As the victim of child experiments done for the sake of controlling and harnessing psychic abilities, Akira rebels against his torturers and decides to use his chaotic powers to gain his freedom. What ends up happening is Akira transforming into a singularity form that releases a huge amount of energy powerful enough to create an explosion that transfers the entirety of Neo Tokyo to another dimension. Akira's psychic bomb, as we should call it, is similar to what a black hole looks like. Number 5. Atomic Bomb, Zankyo no Tero. Two teenagers are able to put Japan under their reign of terror thanks to the mysterious way they conduct their bombing missions. Zankyo no Tero shows us an atomic bomb explosion that checks off all the right marks. The scene leading up to the event is full of complex emotions, as we see characters saying their goodbyes and resigning to their fate. The follow-up explosion, while absolutely heartbreaking, is still very impressive to see on screen. Number 4. Seven Swell Eureka 7. The Seven Swell phenomenon in Eureka 7 is unleashed when the minds of two pilots are in tandem emotionally and mentally. Additionally, it requires the presence of two mystical devices, Amita and compact drives. Seven Swell occurred a decade before the events of Eureka 7 take place. The characters describe it as world-ending, and the story revolves around trying to stop the evildoers from abusing this power. The result of unleashing Seven Swell is the release of a massive sphere of energy that carries 7 different colors, like that of a rainbow, and an explosion so big it could take out huge chunks of the planet with every being on it. Number 3. Heavy Mass Cannon Explosion, Knights of Sidonia. Outer space battles that combine great storytelling with a visually appealing animations are a rarity in anime. Knights of Sidonia is the exception to that rule. Not only does it have epic battles fought in space, it also has some of the sickest explosions you can find. The best one is the blue-like nuclear explosion that occurs when the heavy mass cannon is launched very early in the first season. To clearly state its importance to the story, we're going to mention the 2 most significant instances where it was used. The first one is when Nagita Tanikasa's squad is under attack. Guana 487 overwhelms the miners, and they are forced to fire off the heavy mass cannon. The second time is when the same Guana 487 stays its course to collide with Sidonia. The heavy mass cannon is fired again, but this time it misses. In both cases, the dazzling explosion makes for one hell of an unforgettable scene. Number 2. Destruction of Planet Namek, Dragon Ball Z. The poor Namekians have been the victims of Frieza's desperate measures in the battle against Goku. Finding himself absolutely powerless against Super Saiyan Goku, Frieza tries to take out his enemy by destroying Planet Namek with a small sphere of energy that goes right into its core. The explosion is absolutely huge, and the entire planet goes up in flames. What remains is just a dark sky, pillars of flames, and a ground so hot that barely any being can survive standing on it. The charred surface becomes an attractive battlefield for the last portion of the fight, and Goku manages to escape before the whole planet explodes. Number 1. Giga Drill Break, Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is a show that's all about absurd power levels, stats, and even explosions. The most impressive one for us is when Simon channels his spiral energy to create not one Giga Drill but hundreds of them. The extreme form of the Giga Drill attack is called Giga Drill Maximum, and it causes destruction on a scale unimaginable. When Simon is surrounded by the dozens and dozens of Mogans, he's forced to use this special attack to rid himself of the enemy. The attack summons hundreds of Giga Drills full of spiral power that explodes on command. Needless to say, the resulting explosion is absolutely magnificent, and it's a miracle that Simon himself himself managed to come out alive afterwards. So there you have it, the top 22 explosions that blow our minds and make us believers in the characters who use them. This list, as usual, is not an exhaustive one. If you think there's more worthy candidates or more memorable explosions, please take the time to discuss that in the comment section down below. And in closing, hit the like button if you didn't, subscribe to our channel, share our content everywhere on social media, and stay tuned for more quality anime videos. Try not to explode out of excitement until we meet again.